Yeah, saw my first cardiac arrest this week. As soon as I got onto the ward, I knew instantly from the vibe that someone had arrested. Seeing like blood, all these bodily fluids, that doesn't freak me out. I've seen dead people, that doesn't freak me out. When those two got combined,
Mm,
if I hadn't have had those experiences, I think it would have been quite traumatizing. How was your week, bro?
bro, by the way, for anyone listening or watching, I apologize for my voice. I lost my voice at a rugby game. Not playing, watching. Um, what did I do this week? It started off well. Okay, it started off very weird actually. I have now come in possession of a cat. Um, that may seem super random, but it was basically me and my girlfriend have joint adopted a cat, and
Oh shit.
it's under due process. So like lots of personal life stuff happened this week. But then apart from that, PhD, I was just going over my corrections or like improvement feedback that I got from my supervisors from the meeting. So pretty chill. And then as a PhD student, you get Friday off when it's like Easter. Like you get my hours are technically staff hours, so like technically this Monday as well. You don't have to work, but I probably will, but you don't have to. Trading picked up nicely, so trading's back on track. And just to confirm, the notion it said about the contingency plan, is that right?
Yeah, that was the plan, but we can just like catch up for a little bit before we get dive into it. What do you think?
Yeah, sure, bro. Tell me, your week's go quicker than mine, so I want to hear yours.
Yeah, no worries. Rate the cat adoption, by the way. That was a hard. Whose idea was that?
Definitely hers. Oh, 100% hers. 100%
Yeah,
hers.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Who's it going to? Whose place is it going to live at, or is it going to be a joint
my
accommodation?
my place for 3 months, and then her place after that. She's in the
Okay, nice.
transition of moving.
Mm,
That's sort of why. But it is her cat, to be clear, to be fair.
yeah. Does it hurt when you talk, by the way? Like, are you okay to
It doesn't
to,
hurt.
to
It doesn't hurt. It's just like jarring, as in
mm,
like the noise of it. But it doesn't hurt. No.
okay. Yeah, bro, my week was good. Um, just been had a bit of had an interesting week at work for sure. I
Really.
had a night shift on Friday night, where I was working on, it's called take. So when a person when a patient comes into A&E, they can either be discharged from A&E or admitted onto the wards. And the take team take the patients who have been admitted from A&E. So that's why it's called the take team.
Yeah.
And the take team are like the general medical team. So they see everyone, and then they get uh, triaged or referred to a specialty team, and the specialty team do the post take rounds, if that makes sense. So just explaining what take means. But anyway, bro, I was on the arrest bleep, which means if a cardiac arrest goes off, you have to like run and answer it. And yeah, saw my first cardiac arrest this week,
Mad.
which was interesting. It's not the first arrest bleep I've answered. Usually, so what happens is if a nurse or a doctor identifies a deteriorating patient, usually they'll just pull the emergency buzzer, right? So it could be it's not necessarily just cardiac arrests that they call the crash bleep out for. It's called crash bleep, arrest bleep. It's kind of the same thing.
Hmm.
So a lot of times when the when the arrest bleep's gone off, you go to the wards and it gets cancelled because like the patient's fine. It was just a false alarm, basically, you know.
Hmm.
So anyway, this probably happened like I've had like five false alarms now. So when this one went off, I was like, okay. Obviously, I rushed to get there. Um, but I was like, okay, like just probabilistically, it's probably going to be nothing.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got onto the ward, just I knew instantly from the vibe that someone had arrested. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm. Hmm.
a nurse was waiting by the door. She was like, "What glove size are you?" And then, yeah, uh, fortunately, some more senior doctors were there before me, and they were already starting chest compressions.
That Jesus, bro. That's like,
Yeah.
is it like a reality check of like the field or?
Do you know what I was gonna say? I was telling my girl about this. Afterwards, we had a debrief and everything, but it it gave me a massive sense of perspective after that happened, bro.
Can
It's
imagine.
this it's the same feeling that I got when my grandfather died. Yeah. It's like
Mm,
all of a sudden, I I think that's the last gift a person gives you when they die. It's just that sense of perspective and realizing like ha that this does end, you know, like this ends for everyone. And yeah, I that was the biggest takeaway. Well, there were many takeaways, but that stuck with me since for
mm.
sure.
By the way, that was very beautifully said. The last gift. I like that. I'm gonna use that myself. Um, but how is it? Wait, what day did this happen?
Bro, this happened 6 o'clock on Saturday morning. It was 2 hours before my shift ended
As in yesterday or last weekend?
yesterday.
Jesus. Okay,
Yeah.
so mm,
Oh my God, bro. I had the bro. So I woke up at 7 o'clock on Friday morning and I tried to sleep before my night shift. I just couldn't. Um, I never can. I think, yeah, I never can for some reason. I think it's because like I'm thinking about the shift, and also when you know that you have to sleep, it just stops you sleeping. Do you know what I
mm,
mean? So, so I got no sleep, and then did the night shift, and then I drove 2 hours to Birmingham, and I just collapsed once I got here.
defo understandable, bro.
Yeah,
Jesus, you've had a hell of a weekend.
yeah. So anyway, it's just but yeah, it's I have to say, bro, like I do feel quite privileged that I've got to experience these kind of events in a weird way.
That's interesting
Do you know?
because it's
Do you
defo
know what I mean?
obscure. Like the average Joe would not see that.
No,
Do you think you'll
the
become
average Joe would never see that.
Do you think you'll become sensitized? So it's like not mundane, but like it's like
Mm.
I've seen this before. Like I don't know.
I'd say that, yeah, definitely, 100%.
Mm, mm,
Um, I think if I hadn't, like, for example, I've been in theaters watching people have, various surgeries, and I've seen like the inside of their bodies and whatnot. So I think even just that seeing like blood and all this like all these bodily fluids, that doesn't freak me out. I've seen dead people, that doesn't freak me out. And I think like when those two got combined,
mm.
if I hadn't have had those experiences, I think it would have been quite traumatizing just seeing that as a complete um outsider for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because that. Were you gonna add something or?
No, I was gonna say, I think with medicine, doctors I find are very cautious people, and I think it's because they see e- everything you do in life has risk associated with it, and doctors by by the nature of their job, they always see when the downside plays out. And
The
I think it's,
fragility.
yeah, and I think it skews your perception of risk and makes you very cautious for sure.
Interesting.
Because you're
That's
always seeing like the downside of events. Does that make sense? Yeah.
and that would be opposite to an entrepreneur that has a higher risk tolerance.
Mm, yeah.
Hmm.
So, but I don't know. I haven't. I think I need to journal about it a bit more. This whole
Y-
experience.
This is like just happened. You're gonna have to like process it
Mm,
as well. Um, like yeah, as a friend, as long as like you're good. Because that sounds like a nutty experience, bro.
yeah. No. No. Honestly, I'm fine. I appreciate your concern, but yeah, I am fine. Um. Yeah. It really hasn't. It hasn't rattled me. It's honestly just made me more determined to like pursue a life that I find meaningful because it's just reminded me of my own mortality, I'd say. Um, and as well, I mean, this is more of like a medical takeaway, but often um, in hospital, when patients come in, we have a conversation with them about whether or not they would be fit for resuscitation if their heart stopped.
Mm,
And a lot of patients, the thing is with resuscitation is the success rate is very small, very, very small. I think like less than 10%. I think that might even be generous. Um, and when you're old and frail and you have all of these different diseases, the chance is like less than 1%. I don't know, just something so small. And the 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 process of doing it is so undignified. It really is. Like you do not want to. I would not wish anyone to die that way, for sure.
really?
Um, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah. So it's just this is purely medical. It's reinforced like the importance of having that discussion with patients because it is a hard discussion. Um,
What does it involve that makes it so?
so so when when your heart stops or it goes into it's called arrhythmia, so like an abnormal rhythm that's not conducive to life. Um, blood is no longer circulating throughout the body, and therefore you do chest compressions.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, and you ventilate their lungs. So you put an airway in, and then you attach that airway to an oxygen supply um, that allows them to like circulate oxygen. But it's just, and then you put defibrillation pads on them that transmits an electric current that should reset that it may reset their heart rhythm to allow them to
And are they conscious at this point?
know that unconscious. It's like yeah, when your heart stops beating, like if you think about holding your breath in a swimming pool, like how long can you hold your breath for? Like a minute or two. Like most people like a minute, and
Mm-hmm.
that's when you've like taken a deep breath in. If it just happens like that, like within 30 seconds, you'll be unconscious. You know.
Mm.
So yeah, he'll have been. I mean, he won't have remembered it for sure, but it's really gruesome. Yeah. So that that was this week, and I on a separate note, I've rotated from renal medicine to diabetes and endocrine,
Right.
um, which I'm have to say very happy about because renal medicine, kidney medicine, for those who don't know, is just really busy, like really busy, and the patients on renal medicine can get sick quite quickly for various reasons that I'm not going to go into. But yeah, so
Mm.
that's like a positive
Yeah.
from the week. Um, but yeah, in terms of any more thoughts, by the way, just before I move on, because I'm probably going to like di
Mm,
divert into business like topics now.
um,
What can
I
you
think.
say, really?
I mean, it is one of those. What can you say? But it's like I think I haven't had a traumatic event in my life yet.
Mm,
So for me, like that would be like nutty. Um, so yeah, as long as on a friend note, you're okay. But like,
mm.
I feel like just hearing it, I would need a couple of days just to process it. I assuming have you spoken to Dima as a doctor about it, and like she's probably got a decent amount to say on the matter.
Yeah, I spoke to Dima about it. She's been to arrests, so she knows what it's like. I think that definitely helps having someone else
Yeah,
who knows what it's like.
I think that would help.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, apart from that, bro, that's
Yeah.
I guess that's the life of the doctor. You see the helping of people and like making people better, but then you also got to
Mm,
deal with that side as well.
hmm. Yeah, for sure. And I think as well, when when you see these kind of events, it just gives you that perspective, like I talk about, like any minor thing that happens now, even if it's like you lose your keys, um,
Mm.
you can just compare it to that and be like, okay, like I can get spare keys or I can get a locksmith, like no one's died.
Yeah,
So it's kind of, I think it matures you in a way. I think that's like one of the takeaways that's positive about it, for sure.
I agree. I agree. I think yeah, your perception on how deep things are, like you're seeing like the extreme of like what it could be. So
Mm.
no,
So yeah, anyway, let's move on because I feel like I brought the vibe down with this
no,
topic a little bit.
bro, it's interesting stuff though. It's hella interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about whether to discuss it, but it is just like it is a thing that's happened in my life.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? And I want to be authentic and transparent on the podcast.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, maybe other people will gain something from it as well. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, let's move on because I feel like it's a bit of a vibe killer. Um, yeah, business wise, it's been a decent decent week. What?
I,
What?
I think it's just like the transition. I don't know. It's just good.
Well, how else how do I transition out of this, bro?
No, no, no. Dive straight into business. I'm so
Yeah.
happy with that. It's just like yeah.
Yeah, so business wise,
Shall I?
I've been working.
I
Yeah,
was
go on,
gonna
go on,
say
go
last time we spoke, you had
on.
your idea
Mm,
and it was approved from the mentor,
mm.
and I think you were making the pitch or something.
Yeah. Oh no, thank you for updating the viewer. So yeah, I'm in this mentorship program. It it kind of guides you on making a high ticket service based business. That's what they advise. Um, and I kind of initially went in wanting to do finance. Now I've moved on to fitness, and I've specifically focused on fat loss. Um, Yeah, the reason why I'm focusing on fat loss is because I think people who are overweight are generally in more pain compared to people who are skinny. Like building muscle is kind of seen as aspirational, whereas I think being being fat is seen as like kind of below the typical standard. Like just being a normal person is like the standard. Being
Hmm.
muscular is above the standard. Being fat is below the standard. So if you're fat, you're more in pain compared to if like you're just skinny. Does that make sense?
I agree.
And also I think it will be somewhat. I, I'm not sure. You can tell me what you think about this, but I think fat loss is somewhat simpler to execute, and the reason is because both gaining muscle and losing body fat are a function of diet and exercise, right? Um, but with gaining muscle, you have to your diet has to be on point, and you have to train, right? Like you have to eat enough protein, you have to go to the you have to train every muscle but group twice a week, etc. But to lose fat, you could theoretically do so with diet manipulation alone. So it doesn't actually require the same effort expenditure that a like muscle hypertrophy offer would. So it means that the transformation can be executed even if you're lazy, for example, or even if you don't have the same kind of work ethic.
That's like a double whammy. That's like, okay, so you're fat, and it's also easier to lose the weight than it is to gain the muscle.
Hmm. So you have more of a pain, and the actual like execution is easier theoretically.
Yeah, yeah.
But the reason why I say theoretically is because I think if you've gotten to the point where you are obese or close to obese,
Mm.
there'll be you must be using food for some sort of emotional regulation purpose, in my view. Um, so they, yeah, I think that's what's difficult about it because you have to take that away from them, and they
Mm.
have to find something else that's non-destructive.
Yeah, it's like
So,
binging, isn't it?
mm,
Like the
and
dopamine.
it's yeah, the psychology is really like they'll be addicted to food to get to that point for sure. Like it's one of those things where they know they shouldn't do it, but they do it anyway and they can't stop themselves. So it's not, that's why I said it's not quite as simple as just stop eating. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like
Hmm.
there's a lot more nuance and complexity to it. So anyway, that's my logic for targeting fat loss. Um, and do you know what? Let me pull up a little diagram. I think it'll be instructional.
Yeah, no, please do. I was gonna say, but you're
Yeah.
not gonna target obese people, are you, though?
I'm targeting people who are overweight. So I think I don't know because if you're obese,
I
then
guess
you would
technically,
be
yeah,
yeah you would be like in the most pain. So anyway, can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay, so this is a bit of a BTEC diagram, but if you if you imagine this is like a cliff, this here, this is another cliff, right? Like imagine this is some kind of valley in between.
Right. Okay.
Your your person that you're trying to target is on one side of the cliff, and he wants to get to the other side. Okay, the the other side of the cliff is your promise to that person. That's the transformation that they're purchasing. That's your yeah dream outcome.
Yeah.
The gap is the problem that they can't solve, and your product is the bridge that connects the two.
Nice.
So your offer usually has like the following framework. I help X people solve Y problem through this so that they can, and then like you name the barriers that are getting in their way.
Yeah.
Um, so that's like the basic structure of an offer. I help. So mine is, and they recommend that you be really specific with your offer. Um, they call it uh, like you have to aim for. So when you're making an offer, you want to speak directly to your target market, and I know we spoke about this in episode one. Um,
Mm.
because people, what the misperception that a lot of business owners have is that if their marketing is vague, they'll appeal to a broader group of people, and therefore they'll have more people interested in their product. That's a bit of a misbelief, but really you want to be specific, and that way when someone reads or listens to your marketing, they will resonate with it. They'll feel seen.
Mm, mm,
And that's it's when they feel like you've taken the inside of their head and shown it back to them in a mirror. And they're like, oh, this person really understands my problem. That's what leads to people signing up, and that's what leads to easier conversions. So it's actually the opposite of what people think. The more specific you are, the more leads you get and the more sales you get. So uh my my offer is I help uh what is it, 35 to 45-year-old male professionals who struggle with yo-yo dieting lose 10 pounds in 12 weeks, but through making fitness the path of least resistance without white knuckling through hunger pains or making fitness another full-time job. I think that's like my full strap line.
mm-hmm.
So if you actually like break that down, you've identified the person, males 35 to 45, working professionals who struggle with yo-yo dieting. Oh, and then the problem is they struggle with yo-yo dieting, so they keep starting and stopping diets with no like significant change in their weight or body composition.
Yeah.
Through making fitness the path of least resistance, which is like the whole systematizing fitness angle that I'm going for,
Mm-hmm.
without, and then you insert two limiting beliefs that they have as to why they couldn't do it so far. So without white knuckling through hunger pain or making exercise another full-time job. So a lot of people say like, I can't tolerate the hunger, I don't have time. Those are two limiting beliefs, and you want to like
Yeah.
break those. You want to break those in the offer, or make those, because if they're like, oh no, this isn't going to work for me because of X,
You've
you've
already. Mm,
you've disproven X in the sales and marketing. So anyway, that's what I've come up with so far. I'm not saying it's perfect, but that's my first draft. So yeah, now there's still a little bit more work to be done. I need to make a rough plan as to what I'm going to do. Not a detailed one, but just so that when I hop on calls with prospects, I can kind of walk them through roughly what the plan will be. Um, and then yeah,
interesting.
I think once I've got like a rough plan to tell people, then I'll start sales calls and then I'll actually flesh out exactly what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
Because they advise not making the product until you've got a sale, because otherwise you could be making something that no one wants. So that's
Yeah.
why it's only like a very rough plan. Like I think it's like 3 stages, roughly what you're going to do in each stage. Come up with some sort of like IP name for it, intellectual property, like the
Mm-hmm.
whatever framework, the whatever system,
Yeah.
like brand it somehow, and then yeah, take it to the market. So yeah,
Bro, I
that's
like
been
it. I like it. I had a question about, so what happens then if you have like that lady last time that was like overweight that wanted to be trained? How
mm,
do you just allow customers that come to you? So she's not like part of your target market, but she's just like
mm.
a bonus.
Yeah. So you aim narrow, but you'll accept basically anyone who wants to work with you.
Right. Okay.
So they were saying, so in this business mentorship program, in one of the modules, they were saying what their it's called ICA, ideal customer avatar or ideal
Mm-hmm.
client avatar. So you come up with an ICA profile, and they said that theirs for the this mentorship program was, I think, like a 35 to 45-year-old, again, working professional with married with kids, making at least 100K per year, who is sick of his job, gets like the scary Sundays, hates Monday morning. Um, he's seen as successful by his family and friends, but like really he hates his job, and he just wants like the freedom to pick his kids up from school and you know take a
Mm,
mental health day if he wants to. So
yeah.
that was their ICA. But obviously me, like I'm 25, I don't have kids, I'm not married, I don't make 100K a year. I've still bought the product, um, but I'm not the exact bullseye that they're aiming at,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
But the thing is, their marketing has still resonated with me, right? It's still
Mm,
specific and something about it has resonated with me. But if you're not specific, you don't resonate with anyone.
right.
And
Yeah.
there's levels of resonance. And but when I say resonance, I just mean you. It's
Uh,
a really ephemeral term.
I know what
Uh,
you mean. It's like affiliation with it or something, or like
yeah,
um
yeah,
you a part of you is, yeah, as you said before, being seen.
yeah. Being seen, exactly. Just how much you identify with it. Yeah, it's
Mm.
ephemeral is the wrong word. Anyway, nebulous, something like that. It's just a very like yeah, it's just a very wishy-washy phrase, but
Mm,
I think most people have an intuition as to what it means. So yeah, if like for that 40-year-old married lawyer with kids, it probably was like, oh shit, like who's been like going through my text messages with my mates? Do you know what I mean?
mm,
Does that make sense? Whereas for me, I probably just resonated with wanting freedom, like not liking your day job, like hating Sundays and Mondays, and
yeah.
so that part probably resonated most with me. But yeah, you aim narrow, but you accept broadly, you
Yeah,
know.
that makes sense, yeah, because declining sales would be crazy.
Mm, yeah.
Um, so when's your next meeting?
So my next meeting's on what with my coach on Thursday.
On Thursday. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
So
Ooh,
I I need to get everything wrapped up by then. I will get everything wrapped up by then for sure. Just this week's been it's not been quite as productive as I would have liked. But sometimes
yeah,
those weeks just happen.
same, bro. Honestly, think this life happens.
Mm,
Just it's very like I think I have an unrealistic or unidealistic view of how I want to go through my weeks, and when like
mm,
random stuff happens, you just gotta like accept it and be like, it's part of
mm.
life. And um,
Yeah, and it's annoying, but they say they recommend that you need to work at least 10 to 15 hours a week to get 100K in under a year. So I'm making sure to at least do 10 hours per week of LBA work. Um, LBA is the mentorship program acronym. So yeah, I think as long as I hit 10 hours a week, like I'm happy.
yeah,
Um, it's funny actually. And I'll stop speaking in a second because I know I've spoken for ages.
no,
But what
bro,
what?
don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, what they do is, which I found very helpful, is they make you every week time block when you're going to work on this when you're going to work on your business. And they you should add up all those time blocks and say like how long you're going to work for. And I never used to do this, but I found it extremely helpful because the first week I like I time blocked like 20 hours or something. And then I did 15. And then, yeah, I just found I was consistently overestimating how much time I would work on this,
Hmm.
and then every single week, I think I've gotten more and more and more realistic. And what I found that I was doing was I was allocating a lot of time on the weekends to working on this business. And if for whatever reason, one of those days I'm just off my game, like slept late or something happens, or I'm just not feeling it,
Mm,
then then the rest of the week would be fucked. So
right.
now I've learned to more evenly distribute my deep work blocks. Um, and also I found that I struggle to really concentrate for 2 hours. So I've now made my work blocks 90 minutes, and I try and do one 90-minute block every morning before work, and then kind of fill in the gaps on the weekend to up to like 10 to 15 hours. And I think as long as I do that, like I'm happy with my week.
Bro, big respect, bro. Because you get up early as well. Like,
I used to get up at 4. These days I get up at 5. Um, just because you now that I'm doing the fitness-based business, I'm taking the gym a lot more seriously.
mm,
I say seriously, but I'm still only going like 3 days a week. But it's if you wanna, because I commute 2 hours a day as well to and from work, and it's there wasn't time to both like get sleep, go to the gym, chat to my girl, and do like there just wasn't time. So like it had to come from somewhere, and I found I was just getting less and less sleep to kind of try and do all of these things at once, and then I was too tired. So I
yeah,
just found I would
not
rather
good.
sleep more. I'd rather sleep more, work less, and have my routine be sustainable. That's been my takeaway. So now I wake up at 5. But yeah, no. Tell me about. I've been chatting for a while, man. Tell me about
Mm,
you. How's the
wait, no,
PhD?
bro, it's good. I was gonna ask something about that though. Um, oh yeah, when you go to on your commutes, you
Mm.
listen to any podcasts recently?
Bro, so they they recommend. Well, they say recommend. They say it's like required reading to listen to Alex Hormozy's $100 million offers. Obviously, I'm on the offer section of the mentorship program right now. So yeah, they recommended to read slash listen to that.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, yeah, I've just been fortunately, Alex Hormozy has uploaded all of the audiobook episodes. Excuse me.
That's you.
Alex, thank you. Alex Hormozy uploaded the entire book for free on Spotify, like in different
Wait,
episodes.
really?
Yeah, I'll send it to you, man.
Bro, what? That's crazy.
Can you see that?
Mm, yeah, I can. Okay. I'm gonna be getting
So,
that.
bro, I'll send it to you. I'll share it with you. What's up? And it's funny, bro. All of the information in the book is basically the information that I've received in this LBA. Um,
Really?
which yeah, which is fine, which is fine. Um, but to be honest, I think it's a it's a it's a bit like fitness. Everyone knows how to get fit, but they still don't do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think it's the same with entrepreneurship. Like I could have just read this book and executed on the book, but I think I needed just this hand holding and this accountability to actually execute. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
yeah,
And also, it's just a lot of people have conflicting advice when it comes to business. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of people say, some people say high ticket, some people say low ticket. So, there's just a lot of conflicting advice. Um, and so I think just having just just trusting one person and just taking what they say verbatim and just doing what they say is has been another useful thing.
yeah. I think doing
You
that
know.
over like 10 different people that have had different businesses, like
Mm,
you've, and also like you've put your skin in the game, like you've got money on the line. So
mm,
it's like a fire up your ass sort of thing.
mm. Bro, that's what Alex Hormozy says in the book. He said the more money a customer spends, the more invested they are, the better results they'll get. So in some ways, your product is better if you charge more for it, genuinely.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, bro, this book, it literally mirrors the LBA curriculum almost exactly. Like the first chapter is about how to pick your market, and the most important factor to consider when picking your market is that you want to pick a starving market. That's number one, right? Like, for example, if you had a hot dog stand, you could make shit hot dogs. You could charge like 10 quid per hot dog. But if you put it in a festival or if you put it in a football stadium, you're going to sell out because
mm,
you've got a starving crowd. Do you know what I mean?
nice. Yeah.
So it's, and so yeah, you don't want to have to convince the crowd that they will be starving at some point. You want them to be starving right now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's like a
Some,
synonym for like pain, essentially.
yeah, pain, same thing, same thing.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so Alex Hormozy recommends you pick a starving market in either, I think it was health, wealth, or relationships, um, that's growing. That's, there's a fourth one that I can't remember.
Mm.
So yeah, the first chapter was about basically picking your market and deciding which market to pick. Um, and then, yeah, the next chapter was on pricing. And again, he recommends to charge high ticket.
And does he say service as well?
He doesn't say service, no. He
No.
doesn't say service, as far as I'm aware. But he
Hmm.
recommends high ticket. And with high ticket, the clients usually are easier to work with. They refund less. They're more committed, so they get better results, better testimonials. Um, you serve
Mm.
less people, so you can allocate more resources to them because they're paying you more, so their
Yeah.
transformations will be better. It's just like, yeah, he really recommends high ticket, and he said charge the highest amount that you can speak out of your mouth. You know,
Hmm.
like that you can like get yourself to say.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like within reason, of course. But yeah, to be fair, it's really normalized to me charging 2K for a product. Like I think before, even when I joined, I was like 2K, but now I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be 2K, and it's not gonna be less than
It
2K.
just sounds professional.
Mm,
Like it doesn't sound like when something's like 9.99, it's like, oh, it might not work. But it's like 2K,
mm,
2K is like, right,
mm.
I'm getting my results. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. Alex Hormozy, he has this story about when he started Gym Launch, and that apparently there were other. He charged, I think, 4 times more than the highest competitor in that niche. And he said the reason why he did that was because it's so high that it almost has like an allure around it. Everyone's like, why is it that high? Like,
mm,
do you know what I mean? Everyone's like, this must be like some real shit to charge that much. But but the thing is, he said, if you as long as you can charge that much, as long as you actually can deliver whatever transformation you are promising.
mm,
You know, like you have to be able to charge that much. You have to be able to deliver.
yeah,
Does that make sense? Like
that,
if you buy like a £40 weight loss course and you don't lose weight, it's like whatever. But if you pay 2K, it's like okay, you have to have it. You know. Anyway, go on.
yeah. Well, which is interesting how that comes before the product is built as well.
Mm, yeah,
But yeah, I guess it's like in terms of how, like you said earlier, you don't build a product first because you don't want to sell a product. Like you don't want to waste time on a product which no one wants, sort of thing.
and and also yeah, because you don't know someone will pay for it until they pay for it.
Mm.
So they have to pay for it for you to know that they will pay for it. I know it sounds kind of stupid. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
No, it
So
doesn't sound stupid.
if you make it and then sell it, you don't know that they'll buy it. You don't know that there is someone that will buy it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And so them buying it validates that people will buy it, that it is like worth people's time and money. Do you know what I mean?
And then and then I guess with your specific thing, you need the tailored, what is it, biometrics or whatever, like height, weight. You'll probably have that as a big the factor anyway. So,
Mm,
I mean, you could obviously have like the templates, but like in terms of a unique customer anyway, is not going to
mm.
have the same exact product as the last person. Different
No.
routines, different everything.
Mm. So my angle that I'm bringing to fitness is basically I'm disputing that you need motivation and willpower to to lose weight and get fit. Um, if anything, I think if you're having to use motivation and willpower, it's a signal something's wrong because really you need to design your environment in such a way that the easiest thing to do is to just do the healthy habits.
Mm,
Have you read Atomic Habits by James Clear?
I haven't. Somewhat, it's definitely one
Yeah.
I've heard about though.
Mm. So, bro, highly recommend. Highly recommend. I think that was the second book that I read when I started reading. The first book was Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco. But the second book was this book, and essentially, 90% of your life consists of a is a hab. It consists of habits, right?
Mm,
Like when you wake up, when you clean your teeth, when you go to the toilet, what you eat, when you eat it, going to work, what you do at work, going to the gym, driving, all of these are habitual.
yeah.
They don't and the reason why is because if habits are cognitively efficient, it means you can execute without having to think about it and you save brain power for higher level functions, right? So so your life is 90% habit. And every habit is comprised of three stages: a cue, which is an environmental stimulus or an internal stimulus, a stimulus that triggers the second thing, which is the response.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third element of the habit loop is the reward. So you get a cue, you respond to the cue, and you get a reward. And it's kind of like, it's a cycle. So
Is it
you
always a
go,
reward every time?
yeah, it's always a reward.
It's always a reward. It couldn't be like
It's always,
a punishment,
if it was a punishment, that would reinforce you not to do the habit.
right? Okay, makes
So it's
sense.
the reward that makes you do it again because you want the
Mm,
reward,
mm-hmm.
right? So for just a very basic example, it's like you're walking down the street past a donut shop, you smell the donuts. That's the cue.
That that sounds like operant conditioning with like a dog treat and a bell. Like you ring the bell
Mm.
and a dog knows it's gonna get a treat. And it's like your brain's just like conditioned to that.
Yeah, exactly. So what Felix is talking about is to train a dog, you whistle, and every time you whistle, you give it some food, and you continue to do this until eventually you can whistle, and the dog will salivate even without you giving it any food. And this is what causes this is what allows you to whistle and get the dog to come to you because it's expecting food or it's been trained to do so, even when there is no reward at the end. But it's expecting the reward. Um, so anyway, yes, like for example, if you walk down the street, you smell some donuts, that's the cue. You walk in, buy the donuts, eat the donuts, that's the response. And then the sweet taste in your mouth and all like the serotonin and dopamine, that's the reward, you
Mm.
know? Uh yeah, go on.
And I was gonna say, what were you actually how did the book come up? What were we talking about?
So this is my unique kind of this is my unique take on helping people lose weight is you have to break their bad habits and you have to
Mm.
reintroduce good habits,
Could
right?
Ooh, interesting then, because my brain's instantly gone to you said about punishment stops the habit.
Mm, mhm.
Could it work where you have to be punished then, or is it better to reward good behavior than to punish bad behavior?
So if you want to break a habit, you make the cue invisible, you make the response difficult to execute, and there's not much you can do about the reward, to be honest. Like donut's gonna taste good regardless. You know what I mean? But then if you want to make a habit, you make the cue obvious, you make the response frictionless, and you make it rewarding. So, for example, like if you wanted to start playing the guitar, rather than having the guitar in the case, like under the stairs, you'd put the guitar in a stand in the middle of the living room. So it's like as soon as you walk in the living room, you see it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that
Nice.
reminds you to do it. And yeah, you can instantly play it. You don't have to take out the case and get the pick out. Do you know what I mean? You put the pick on the table next to it. You have the books already out.
So that's the cue.
So the cue is seeing the guitar,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
right? The response is like picking the guitar up and playing it. And then let's just say you allow yourself like a smoothie after you play the guitar or like whatever. Say you can like chill for like half an hour now. That's your reward, and that reinforces the habit. You know. Whereas if you want to break a habit, you remove all the cues. Okay, so like if you wanted to stop someone eating junk food, um,
I've got a good one for
hmm,
you.
yeah, go on, go on.
When you moved your phone out your room with your
Yeah, yeah. So I've I've um I've got this app on my phone. It's called Opal, Opal, and it's it's basically an app blocker. So I've got it set on a timer where it's like I think 10 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning. It it blocks all of my emails, my messaging apps, um, Spotify, and I have it set so that essential apps I have access to, like my phone and Google Maps and my banking apps and whatnot.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, so like for example, if you don't want to go on your phone in the evening, put your phone in a different room so you just don't even see your phone, you know, and then put get this, and then even when you go on your phone, you can't execute the response because the apps are blocked, you know, and you can't
Mm,
delete the app and whatever.
mm,
And then like you don't get the reward because you can't execute the response. So yeah, so you just manipulate the habit loops in different ways to break bad habits and form good ones. So I think that's going to be my unique angle. And when you do that, the easiest thing to do is just to be healthy. Like if you just remove all of the junk food from your house, um, and it's only healthy food. When you're hungry, the only thing that's convenient for you to grab is just healthy shit and protein bars and fruit and stuff, you know.
mm.
So it
Yeah.
requires more motivation to just get out the house and drive to the shops than it would be to just like grab the food that's available to you,
Yeah, that
you
makes
know.
sense. That makes sense.
Um, and all these different types of things. So that's going to be my approach. So we'll see. Yeah.
Mm. No, that's very you with your systems and but no, I think that's like yeah, I really like that to be honest.
Thank you, Mum.
I think that will appeal to well, I think if you can articulate it like that, like in a way where you just let them know like this is like what's happening in your brain, like as a doctor, like this is what's going
Mhm.
on, this is how we're gonna fix you. They'll like put the trust in the systems and then the proof is in the pudding or whatever, and then it's just yeah. I
Mhm.
like it, bro.
Thanks, dude.
I've,
And yeah, go on, go on, go on.
no, you go on.
No, I was gonna say I don't know, oh, it's not a revolutionary idea. Like it's a bit like Alex Mosey's book. They could just pick this book up and do it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
but it's never that simple, you know? Like they want someone to just do it for them, to just make the diet plan for them, make the exercise program for them, tell them exactly what to do, keep them accountable.
Yeah.
Do you know, otherwise they would have done it by now, which they haven't. Do you know what I mean? Um, so yeah, it's like I sort of feel a bit uneasy that the information is technically available for like, I don't know, £6 on Kindle, but
Mm-hmm.
Alex Hormozzi's Alex Hormozzi's information was available for the same price, and I didn't execute on it. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, dude, tell me about your PhD, man.
Well,
Like,
what was that timer? Because we've it's already been hours somehow. So I don't
it
want
has.
to.
I mean, bro, I've got. We can do like another 20 minutes if you've got time.
As in, like, I don't think we should start the conversation on the contingency plan, unless you want to touch on it briefly.
Uh,
I've thought about it.
oh, oh my God, we've not even got into the topic of the
But
podcast.
yeah, but it's chill. But it's a bit
Should we
late to
just leave it?
start it, I think.
Should we just leave it? Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
just leave it.
I probably like I got stuff to say on it, but like it'd be
Mm,
weird to start it this late in, I think.
hmm.
But
Oh, I'm sorry. I feel like I've.
it's not that deep. Honestly, this is
uh,
like like my voice is messed up anyway. Like
mm,
I'm this is more of a like a live pod and just sort of
mm,
yeah. Um
yeah.
in terms of the PhD, I really don't have much to say really. It's just bubbling along. One thing
Mm,
I noted is when I went to this rugby game,
hmm.
Chris's brother, our friend Chris, his brother was in a rugby game. So we went to go support him. And I was introduced to a lot of new people. And one thing that I noticed was Harry, who started, Harry's another friend of ours. He's got a nice little line he says when someone says, "What do you do?" He's like, "I'm a components trader for whatever the company is." And it's like very like that. Whereas when someone asks me, I'm like, normally my thing is like a PhD student. And I'm like, in what? I'm like, well, and then it's so ambiguous of like it was just jumping around my answers because I'm technically in my PhD is in business and economics, but the research is in like data sustainability, and I don't even know the title right now or like the thesis or where it's going to go. So yeah, I think when someone asks me that I don't know, like what am I doing, it's sort of PhD student in business and economics, sort of flat. And then if they ask any more than that, I'm like, I'm looking at data sustainability, basically. Um, but no, it's just PhD, but the thing with it is it's such a long thing in terms of like 3 years. Everything is a little bit slower than a regular job. Like
Mm,
my girl probably wouldn't want me to say this, but like when we're working, like it is just cash. Like it is not. We are year one as well, so maybe in year two it's going to be like full on, but it's just moving slow, bro, which is nice because it gives me more time to like work on other things and do trading stuff. Um, so yeah, not much really to add on the PhD front, just bubbling along. I've got I saw someone posting where they just graduated. It's very typical, extremely typical to take 4 years to do a PhD. Now I'm only funded for three. Um, Side note, I was actually speaking to my mate about this. I've got like ridiculous job security, I've realized. So as long as I like sufficiently pass onto the next year for 3 years, I have a set salary contract, like flat. It's rare to fail or get kicked out. Um, so what was I saying?
so you're saying how the PhD is quite slow, and
Yeah, did I say something about 3 years? Oh yeah,
yeah,
typically people. So some recent people just pass their vivas, which your
mm,
viva is once you submit your PhD thesis, you're given like a month or two to prepare your defense, and you have to defend your thesis in front of like experts in the field, and they'll give you X amount of improvements in X amount of time, and if you don't execute on those improvements, then you don't get your PhD. But typically you do. But um, yeah, a new wave of that has just happened. So like all the congratulations are going on, and everyone's like, yeah, 4 years or 3 years, 8 months or whatever. So what that tells me is like the average is people don't complete it in the 3 years. And then I was like, well, if the work is cash and everything's slow, does that not make? I was like, well, surely that's why everyone's taking longer because they're just not
Mm,
executing like fast and efficiently. They're treating it not like a 9 to 5. They're treating it just as like uni. So
mm,
it's delaying everything. And then once you're past the 3 years of your studentship, you're not paid. So I would have to subsidize myself anything after the 3 years, which I don't want to do. So I came to this realization of like, I don't know how unrealistic it is, but I would want to finish within the 3 years. I don't want to be paying my own PhD afterwards. So I'm just trying to work out how to navigate, to allocate time to make sure I'm not like I'm ahead right now. My last supervisor meeting, like I'm I'm in a very good place. But it's like how do I convert that into like I want to stay consistent and I basically need to have a conversation with my supervisors to say like I want to finish within the 3 years. I don't want to be going into 4 years and then see what they say. But that was a recent development which I wasn't really aware of.
mm. Yeah, I have a few thoughts just addressing your main concern. There's a chapter in the book, The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, and it's start with the end in mind. That's
Mm,
that's one of them. Um, and basically, what that means is assume you're going to finish in 3 years. What milestones do you have to achieve and when in order to achieve that? Does that make sense?
mm-hmm,
So if you know like in 3 years it has to be you have to have some kind of published paper, then you know that like in the third year, I don't know how many like say it's a 2 cycle uh research project,
mm-hmm,
you know like you need to complete the first cycle in year one, the second cycle in year two, and maybe like year three is the analysis and the publication. Does that
mm-hmm.
make sense? So when you start with the end in mind, that allows you to segment the time period and like allocate a goal for each segment in order to allow you to do that.
Yeah, no, that is right. And the framework people use is very standardized. People say, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but they say year one, you have your idea, you have your problem, you have your gap, you have exactly what you're going to do year one. So year one's just a bunch of reading and working out what area you're going to fill the whole of year one. I think that's why it feels slow because I'm just like reading and I'm trying to work out what I'm going to do. I'm not like doing actionable, tangible things. Year two is you actually do the research, you do what the plan was, you conduct all the research, you go and do whatever, and then that's the whole year. And then year three, you just are writing. It's just a write up. So you don't have to do any research. You're just writing up the results and formatting it into a nice thesis or publication. You can you can get a PhD by two formats. The first is thesis, so like an 80,000 word document, or by publication, so like 3 or 4 mini reports compiled into a publication, or compiled into one document, but each are different like studies. There's like multiple studies in one piece, if that makes sense. I don't know what I'll be doing. That will be a conversation next year or maybe this year.
Mhm.
So that's the template everyone's using, yet people just can't stick to it, can't seem to finish in time.
Mm,
As of where it stands, I'm on track now, and I know what I need for the end of year
mm,
one. When I was speaking with the people that delayed, a big thing is how slow you get feedback and how slow the system is. Like, it's not like in the workplace where if you mess something up that day you find out, or like tomorrow you find out. It can take up to 4 weeks to a month to get feedback on like a large piece of work. And if supervisors are supervising like 10 or 20 students, and they've also got lectures and seminars, they just like take the piss. And because it's like 3 years, everything's just longer. Nothing. You can't get results like now.
Mm,
And I think it's just a fundamental flaw in how the whole thing works, to be honest. I don't think it's anyone's necessarily not working hard enough. I think the way the system's designed is just slow.
mm,
So yeah, I have to sort of factor that in. So if I know that I'm going to get feedback late, I have to then prepare for this, which I think not many people are aware of. But and some people like don't give a shit. They're like, oh, I'll finish in 3, 4, 5 years. Like it's not that deep. But I'm like, if I'm only paid for 3, a whole year is just gone. That I'm gonna have to
mm.
come out of my pocket. Like this is not ideal.
No way, no way. I was going to say another thought that I had was um I read this in The Psychology of Money by I think it's Robert Housel.
Mm,
I think that's the author's name. And he talks about, I mean, it's in a different context. It's in the context of saving money, but he talks about having a margin of safety or room
mm,
for error, right? Um, and in his context, he was basically saying how he has a higher than average proportion of his net worth in cash because that means in economic downturns, he doesn't have to liquidate his stocks, so he can, you know, continue the kind of compound growth of his portfolio.
ooh.
Tangent. That's a complete tangent. Let's not go there. But anyway, I've kind of taken that uh, margin of safety rule into a lot of things. And just as for a personal story, I used to always be, I mean, today's not a great example, but I used to always be like 5 minutes late to everything that I went to. And I realized it's because I was aiming to get to the event exactly on time. And that meant that if any unforeseen circumstance happened, like there was traffic or I needed to go back and get my like swipe card, that would that would then cause me to be late. So
Mm,
now, if you want to be on time consistently, you have to aim to be there early, like 5 minutes early, 10 minutes early, whatever.
yeah.
So factor in a margin of safety into this 3 years. Like try and get the PhD done in maybe depends how ambitious you want to be. Try and get it done in like 2.5 years, and
So
then any delay, you factor that in. You know,
there was a story that went around that I think the earliest in the business school was like 2 years, 8 months or something. So someone has done it. There is somebody that's done it. So why not
mm.
me? You know,
Bro, why not you? Why not you? Like,
for real.
what physics of the universe is holding you back from doing that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
exactly.
can definitely.
Once I
Yeah.
heard that, I was like, I mean, it's like the limitless belief, where it's like, if no one's done it, can you still do it? But like the fact someone has done it emphasizes
Mm.
to me like I'm just gonna like if someone else has done it, it's not impossible. Um,
And I assume, you must have heard of Parkinson's law. Have you heard of this?
remind me, probably.
So, um, Parkinson's law is it's not strictly speaking a law, but that's just um, what it's called. It's the idea that the time work will expand to fill the time allocated towards it. So if you give a project more time, it will just take you longer. And conversely, if you give yourself less time to do a project, you will still get it done in less time,
Oh,
right?
interesting. Yeah.
So everyone's had this. It's like you've got an essay to do, you've got 2 weeks to do it. The first week and 3 days, you kind of fuck around, and then shit gets real, and then you're like, oh, actually, like you just write like all of it in the last 3 days or something, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you just had that 3 day timeline and you just had that fire under your ass from the beginning, you'd still get it done, and it'd basically be the same quality.
No, for real. You're It's the same with a lot of things. like the actual amount of time you need if you're doing deep work is nowhere near the amount of time you're given for some things. Like like the PhD being 3 years, like obviously it's a huge piece of work and it's supposed to, contribute to literature to like push humanity forward. Like that's like the big speech. But like it is just like a gap, an experiment or something, and then you're just writing it up. Like obviously way deeper than that. But yeah, I'm just lucky it's not the American one where it's like 5 to 7 years because I don't know how people can be consistently motivated. I think that's a huge thing as well, the motivation with it. I'm so blessed with my area being like data and sustainability, like that is so perfect that like I enjoy working on it. So like if I'm not trading or whatever, or I'm not doing whatever, like I'm very happy to just like, let me just get on with this because like this is hella interesting. I'm associating it with like business. Like if I can find this gap here, I can so it's like it all to me is linked together. Where some people are like, oh, I'm not gonna say, but like some people are like, fucking
Don't give a shit about their
just
PhD,
hella
basically.
just like not enjoying it or it's just not
They're not
aligned
interested in the
with
topic.
their yeah, basically not interested in the topic. Whereas I'm extremely lucky that I have been. And the fact that my supervisors are like extremely professional, high up people in this industry as well. But yeah, but I'm still motivated than ever on it. What day is it? It's the 5th of April. So my next meeting, this is another thing. Like my next meeting will be the 28th of April. So I now have 3 weeks to just get on with it and then compile it all into a presentation, present it, and then that's it for the month, and then another month. So you see, what I mean? Everything is just stretched out. Like your boss in a job is like there all the time. Like I don't see my bosses for a month. So um
It sounds amazing, bro. I have to say, it sounds brilliant.
oh shit, I've just knocked my light off. Excuse this.
Don't worry.
Um I yeah, I'm super happy with it, to be honest.
Mm,
I'm super happy. Um this is what I mean, this nearly goes into the contingency plan thing, but like we'll do a whole new thing on it, but just a
mm,
mention on it. Side note, my girl wants to move to America for a bit after the PhDs and go be high rollers. So this is I like the thought of being a high roller and
mm.
the American paycheck for, specifically for some PhD roles is mad. Um, so yeah, I think we'll do a whole episode on it. But as far as now, in the 3 years from when I started in January
Mm.
to 2029, that is my period I'm allocating to try basically and make it. And I think I'm assuming what I want to happen is it's the same thing with the PhD, but with the business, I want to like speed up a bit. I'm starting slow. I need to speed up, and I feel like
Mm.
otherwise, the same thing's gonna happen, where things get stretched, and then I'm gonna leave myself only like a year. I'm like, oh shit, I've got to make it in a year now, when I had all this time before.
Mm.
And I think in my head, I'm like thinking, oh, I've given myself this 3 year line, and that's so big. Yet, if I'm not executing, time is just gonna fly.
Mm.
Um, but
Bro,
yeah, go on.
no, go on. Finish your thought,
Well, no,
please.
just to finish that, 3 years, 2029 January, I haven't got a tangible idea yet, but a business that means I don't have to work. Whether it's trading, whether it's whatever, just
Mm.
my
Yeah,
own Felix Bruton's thing.
yeah, man. So many thoughts, bro. I think. I mean, what do I know about this stuff? Like, I'm not. I, I only say this from the limited experience that I have, but I would say try and give yourself. artificial deadlines, you know.
Mm,
I think that's one of the biggest things about being self-employed is that you don't have a boss anymore, you know, like
mm,
you don't have someone like whipping you to do something by X date. Do you know what I mean? You have to
mm,
do that to yourself.
yeah.
It's really odd, but the thing, like
It's
that's that's where the freedom comes from, though, right? Like you want the freedom to like choose your schedule and do what you want with your time, but you also have to make yourself work. It's almost
it's so weird, bro.
like but you can't have one without the other, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and that's such a good point about freedom as well, because that is what it is. You've got to have discipline to, even though you've got free time, allocate the time to tasks that are important, without a boss.
Yeah. And the thing is, the world is just pulling you towards normality constantly, you know? Like
Mm,
everyone, like your friends are asking you to go out, your girl wants to do shit with you, you know, you got the PhD stuff to do, like your parents want you to come to this thing. It's like you're constantly being pulled in all these different directions by the world, and
mm,
it's taking you away from this like flower that you're just trying to water. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, but it's really, but there's no there's no easy answers. I mean, I still struggle with this, bro. Like I never feel like I'm doing enough ever.
Mm. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think for me, I had a really good phase at one point, and this is by no means like, um, I think a lot of things have happened since I've started the PhD. Obviously, I've got this girlfriend now. That is like a huge part of my life. This cat thing is now needs to not take up more of my time. Like I remember saying this to her, like I need to just, there's too much going on. Like I think I
Mm.
need to get more systems in place.
Mm.
My routine is, because it's so free and because I'm not location bound, it's not been systemized and it's very, very flexible. My only really deadline in the day is my trading slots, which are like 2 parts of the day. That's my only bit which is solidified. Everything else, gym, it's just whenever I like. So, and I found that it's nice, but it's also like I'm still getting used to it, and I need to be, I don't know, discipline is the right word, but just more tactical and strategic, as if I was a boss. Like if I was Felix's boss, and I'm looking at his day, like what is he doing? Um, and like I need to bound time slots. I think like you do. I think I my abundance of currency is my time, and I'm not optimizing it at all. Like it's we're the opposite boats right now. You're struggling for time in that situation. I've got too much, so mine is not um an issue with my time. Mine's just purely my own motivations and discipline and stuff like that. So that's basically what I need to work on, which I've come to realize.
Bro, I would say, what would I say? I think, bro, it comes back to exactly what I'm doing with this weight loss. You need to systematize your life, you know? You need to set up habits and routines that make working on your business the default output, you know?
Mm,
And it shouldn't require a shit ton of discipline because you're not going to sustain it, you know?
yeah.
Um, what I would advise if I was you, and I was you, like end of uni, I was you, bro. For those who don't know, um, I in medical school we had our finals in the year in our fourth year out of a 5 year course. So the final year was literally just doing fuck all. you know, like you had to go to placement and get some sign-offs, but that took a fraction of the time that was allocated to us. So yeah, so that's when I kind of went all in on the YouTube and
Mm,
um, yeah. So I've been where you are with all this abundance of time. Um, and bro, it's so precious, honestly. Like
mm,
it's really, really precious, bro. And you need to it's really hard to just translate how rare this is. And once this PhD is over, you're gonna be in the 9 to 5 meat grinder. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And be like, what the fuck? And also, bro, this really is like the window of time. This is this is the window of time that I've been saving up for 2 years, right? Like I've been saving all my money for a runway to give myself this time to make the business take off. You've got that time now,
Mm,
you know, and you're getting paid for it basically. Um, so I think that number one, just really realize the privileged position that you put yourself in. You know, you've put yourself there. Like
mm,
pat on the back to you, but now capitalize on it. And I remember
yeah,
in
exactly.
in uni we had this conversation in the sauna where this was your plan. Your plan was to do the PhD so that you had the time, so that you could work on the business. That's why you did this, you know.
Mm, mm,
So like, it was strategic, but now you have to execute on the strategy.
yeah. No, that. And if someone was to ask me again, why did you do a PhD specifically? It's because I valued that freedom of being able to work on the PhD and then around that, in my time, focus on the business and blow up as a trader. But now, as I'm now being here, it's like it's just weird. Like I don't know what it is. I definitely need to shake it. The start of January was amazing. Like everything went to plan. Trading took off. Trading was really well. Gym was good. Everything was good. And then different things have entered my life, with like the flat and the girlfriend and sort of other things which I won't mention. You know, I haven't. There's like a certain step up to like right now. I'm like year one Felix, and I can see myself. Year three Felix needs to be like an animal, like habits in place, trading account growing like X amount per thingy, like PhD is ahead of schedule. Like this is the version, like also like Jack. Like there's a version of me I imagine, right? And what I'm doing now is just not it. Um, and I think with like being in the first year PhD, you get sort of everyone around you is just like
Mm,
it's just reading, and it's just like
mm,
talking about gaps, and it's not like no one's doing anything. Like no one's actually like making anything or doing. Everyone's just chilling, and I think you get in the vibe of just like, oh, let's go to do this, and I feel like I've fallen into the chillness of year one, and like you said, like um I mean, it's not. I am 100% to blame in it. It's not like anyone else's thing, but I need to just systemize things, be more strategic. I'm aware of this going forward. Like hopefully in the months to come and the podcast to come, it will be, I'll be talking more highly of myself in this regard. But it's just the transition phase that I'm in from no boss.
mm,
But I can see the light at the end. I can see what I want. Um, And I remember when you told me this at your house about how like your time, how you had all that time, and then now you're just working. That first phone call you called me when I was in my house, and you were like, "Bro, it's shit, bro, it's terrible." And I was like, I think that gave me like a reality check of like you really don't feel it until you do, and yeah, it's I can't remember the quote. I'm gonna mess it up, but it's like a smart man learns from his own mistakes or like his own experiences. A very smart man learns from other people's mistakes and experiences. So if I can learn from you about how valuable time is and how once you get into a working job, your time just goes. If I can take that on board and actually apply that, um, I'm going to have least pain after the 3 years instead of just being like doing nothing after the 3 years. Although I've got a PhD, but like now what? Like I've got nothing to boost me. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
back where I was before the PhD. I'm just a little bit more qualified now,
Mm-hmm.
which is not what I care about anyway.
Yeah, you were never doing this to be qualified for a job. Like you
Yeah,
didn't want a fucking job.
I literally like a PhD. Like it looks good on the CV, but like that was not the aim to look good on the CV. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Like exactly. What was I gonna say? Yeah, bro. I think what you should do, ugh, should is a massive word. What I would do in your position
Hmm.
is just set realistic standards for yourself and make it realistic because I've fallen into this trap where you wake up at 4 a.m. and you just burn out in like a couple months and then you kind of like binge and reset and then so
Mm.
just just do what I do with the LBA, bro. Just say like 10 hours a week I need to spend on trading or whatever, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
And as long as I do that, like I'll be happy, you know? Um, and then once you've got, and then like just time block when you're going to do it and just be realistic. Just be like, okay, like Felix needs this much sleep. He usually takes this long to get ready. Then he can work. Then then he needs like half an hour to chill. Otherwise, it's just pointless.
yeah.
You know, just really be real with yourself
Mm.
about what you can reasonably expect to do
Yeah,
over a long period of time.
bro.
Yeah, go
What
on.
what I might do now that I'm thinking is pretty much follow in your exact footsteps, follow what you've just done the past 2 months with your customer base. I might just do exactly what you're doing, and you can sort of be my mentor if you like, and I'll basically feed back to you what you've taught me over the last podcast about the LBA and try and see if I can mimic it into something like that. Because, for example, me and you have both had accountability coaching, right? You, Neil, and me, Alison. Like, and I think it did work. It definitely worked. Um, my issue then became I fell back in love with trading, and I was like, "This is what I want to do." Trading is no longer burdenous, so those hours in my day are fine. So in the morning, in the afternoon, when I'm trading, I'm fine. It's chilling. I enjoy it. The PhD stuff I enjoy, and I squeeze that in, but I don't have like an actual project that I'm working on with a business. How you are with the LBA. Like for example, if I was to allocate like an hour to trading or whatever, like I already do that. But then what would I do extra to like when I'm trading, I'm executing on the live markets. Anything that isn't that would just be like journaling or reviewing setups. Like it wouldn't be executing. And I think I find that not boring, but like I find it less high value activity. Um, I'm at a point now where that doesn't really help my trading. Going back and journaling, it's more the the risk management side of things now, and yeah. So then I struggle to allocate time for high leverage activities, which I think you're doing now, which are all high leverage activities. I think I need to adopt that and formulate like a plan where in times of business hours, it won't be like small stuff like journaling or whatever. It would be like, boom, okay, this activity, this activity. I think that's what I need to do. What do you think? I'm also thinking about how, like, whenever you've mentioned about your fitness thing and transition to finance, like, there's got to be a way that I can use being a finance student, I mean, a PhD student and upcoming trader to someone that isn't a PhD student,
Mm.
maybe in a position like myself that is just on a master's, like all these like kids at uni or whatever, all these young adults at uni that don't know what to do. Could I like market my way into like a? But then people don't have. But then I'll be like, oh, these students don't have money to spend like 2K on something like that. But anyway, that I'm just thinking about activities I can do which are high leverage. Um,
So my thoughts would be that I think you need to decide what your wealth engine is going to be. Is it going to be trading or is it going to be a business?
hmm,
You know, and if it, I think whatever it is, you should just stick to that in your spare time. You know, like if you fragment your time between different projects, you don't. I think with anything in life, the gains only occur once you pass a certain threshold. You know, it's
hmm,
a bit like nothing happens, but you're building up kind of latent potential. And then once you reach a threshold, all everything like unveils itself. I don't know if that sounds a bit wishy-washy. Um, I'll give you an example. Like if you heat an ice cube up, the ice cube, the temperature will increase, but the ice cube will stay roughly the same until you reach like 0 degrees, and then it all starts to melt, you know?
yeah, yeah,
And if you're allocating your attention between two different things, you never allocate enough for each thing to reach the threshold at which you would start to see results. Does that make
hmm,
sense?
yeah.
So I think either, and bro, either just commit to trading or commit to a business. What what's made you want to divert away from trading, bro? Or do you think like outside of the trading hours that you've already got, there's like no more gains to be made by doing any more? Is that
Yeah,
what you're thinking?
definitely.
Wait, sorry, Piers, I can't hear you. Have you touched something?
Oh, my bad, my bad.
Just say that again.
Yeah, the latter of I'm definitely not diverting away from trading. It would be because I've got time in my day that would be actually negatively impacting if I was to continue trading.
Ah,
Um,
okay, I see.
so the cut off with trading is strategic, and that's a part of my day which is pretty optimized. Any more trading, I would consider over trading, and I have potential to actually lose money. Um, I the thing with the wealth builder and trading isn't going to be the business. I don't think trading is going to be the wealth builder to then just have in the background to then which could scale up over time, but the actual
Mm-hmm.
business, service, product or whatever
Mm.
wouldn't be that.
Yeah, so the business would be creating the wealth. The trading would be preserving and growing the wealth that you've created.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Um. Cool.
Well, also technically creating as well, I guess.
Yeah. Mm. Uh. Yeah. Go on. We can say something.
Well, no, so I'm gonna basically the big issue with what I'm thinking in terms of like what I would offer.
Yeah.
It's quite late to like talk about this, but I'll just quickly mention that for people that don't know, you can request a prop firm challenge for like X amount of £1,000, like £100,000, and the company gives you a challenge fee. So you might pay like £100, and if you pass, you get the funds in an account with thresholds and parameters you must stick to. But providing you do, you can pay yourself out like however much you win, basically. And it's like a really good profit split, like 80, 90%. So 97% of people are failing these. That's like the industry stat. They're made extremely hard to pass. That's the whole business model, because if they were easy, everyone would get all this money and all these companies would lose money because like the traders are bots and they can't actually trade. So they make it super elitist to pass so that once they give you the money in their risk algorithm, it makes sense because this trader has proved that they can beat the market, and it's over like a month and a half, so it's like in a set time period as well. So now I've had experience passing these accounts, I'm pretty confident that I can pass these. I was thinking, can I offer to take someone's challenge for them, pass it for them, and then just give it back? Pretty sure this does exist, and it's like big organizations do this, but I'm thinking if I was to penetrate the people that don't know about these big organizations, like just the plain, because like my whole thing is like, I spend like an hour or 2 hours on it a day. That's it, and it's like not that deep, and I've built this all through like 3 years of experience, which maybe then I could convert into a trader that's maybe in year one or just starting, so they don't have to go through the pain of passing. But then it's a bit weird, because then if I pass the account and then like gave it back to them, they just lose it.
Bro, why wouldn't you just teach them how to pass it themselves?
So that's already there's a huge scammy thing around trading courses,
Hmm.
and people hate them in the industry. I
Oh,
feel
really?
I feel like, yeah, it's extremely
Frowned upon.
frowned upon, but it's just so common. Every trader
Hmm.
does this. They sell their experience and they charge like a course, and yeah, it's like the most go-to product you do as a trader. That's
Hmm.
why I think I'm been like, yeah, people just think it's scams. There's probably a way around it, and I bet you there's people that do buy legit courses and do well. Mm. But yeah, that does that would be like a sort of business I would want to go into when doing like considering the LBA like advice. Another thing, by the way, about I think the position I'm in now, I wouldn't want to sell a trading course.
Hmm.
Maybe to pass accounts, but like I haven't made it. I'm not like baller level.
Yeah.
Um, but it's hard to I think down the line after like a year or two when I've got the big portfolio, it's like boom, flashy.
Hmm.
Um, I could market now probably just the passing of accounts over like gates essentially.
Hmm. Yeah, I think, bro, we should probably wrap this up at some point. But
Yeah,
we'll definitely, yeah, go on.
I know I'm ready whenever to wrap it up, bro.
Yeah, yeah, but no, we'll definitely discuss this more in another podcast or off the pod, whichever you want. But yeah,
I'll,
we'll wrap it there for now. Yeah, go on.
I'll add it to the Notion.
Add it to the Notion for sure. Anyway, if you have listened this far in, wow, your attention span is enviable for sure. Um, yep. I'm just gonna wait till to stop typing. Okay,
My bad.
cool. No, that's all good. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a comment, any pod ideas. We would eagerly um take your suggestions on board. So that's it from us, and we'll see you in the next episode.